Hi people, how y'all doing? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So the video for today says college girl convinced white people hate her for being black. Are they hating her for being black as per they kind of like envy her or something? But nonetheless, people, let's just get right into the video, okay?
Disagreeing because I feel like
Hmm.
I don't think that behind this presidency, I don't think that this country is headed towards a bright future. I don't think that under this presidency that we are going to stand united. I think that it is going to divide
Okay.
us even more and that it is dividing us. And I also don't think that this presidency is built on a love of all people. I feel like whenever I hear Trump specifically talk, there are notions of
Hmm.
not black people specifically, but people of color being seen as murderers and rapists, and it's specifically targeted towards brown people. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is my question for you is, do you think this country, or do you think that Trump is going to do the American public right in the overall of his presidency?
Yes.
Okay. Are you worried about the state of this country under his presidency when it comes to economic setbacks, when it comes to another Great Depression, when it comes to stocks going down, et cetera, et cetera? Are you worried that
No.
he is not going to do anything like that?
I don't have those concerns. And by the way, inflation's going down, and the price of eggs is going down. Everybody, big time. And, but go ahead. I want you to thoroughly complete your argument, and then I'll say something.
Okay. I guess basically the point of my argument is I think that President Trump, and I think that this country's view, especially when we're coming now into DEI and we're coming into defunding of Department of Education, we're coming to taking the Tuskegee Airmen out of being
That
taught.
has been reversed, just for the record.
Okay,
The
okay.
Tuskegee Airmen.
But there's been multiple other things besides Tuskegee, but also the whole debate on critical race theory, teaching slavery in schools, teaching black history, et cetera, et cetera. These are things that are being targeted specifically when it took years and years to even get them in place. I think that this country is built on using the Bible, not even 100 years ago, to defame and to dehumanize black people. There has been use of the Bible specifically when people used to come into the church and talk about how slaves should obey their masters, and how that's what the whole relationship between white and black people were. I think that this country specifically has a lot of racist rhetoric that is built in, that is not being targeted. I think
Got
that.
it. So let's try to find
Yes.
some common ground. Is that okay?
That's fine. That's fine.
Can you give me a definition of racism?
Racism in terms of, I will say, okay, before I
You
give,
use the term,
yes,
so I want to make sure we're
that's
talking
fair.
about the same thing. Is that cool?
Yes, that's fair. I will say that I will state that I am biased because I will be speaking as a black person specifically from the United States of America, and not anywhere
nice.
else. But I will say racism is a discrimination against people of a minority that does not have a. Okay, what is racism? Racism, without using the word,
Can't use the word racism.
Can't use the word. That's I'm trying. A discrimination against a minority class of people in order to create an unbalance in the society or a hierarchy based on something that is undetermined as of color, race, the color of your skin, or maybe even color of your skin.
Can you be racist against Asians?
Yes.
Can you be racist against white people?
I believe that you can have prejudice against white people. But in the way that this country was built and the way that this country has been founded and the way that there are many laws that have taken place, specific like where you were talking earlier with the whole reparations debate, there are many legacies of white people in this country that...
Guys, just... Okay, let's just all take a breath. Gigi's talking.
Which I also would like, I feel like that kind of comes into... Yes, we're not all from this country. This is a country of immigrants. This is a country of people from other countries.
So let me give you an example.
Yes.
If a group of black individuals, which happens unfortunately so often, say, we want to go beat up Whitey, and they go beat up a white person, was that a racist thing that they did?
I would have to ask for further context, but yes. Based off of that,
cool.
Yes.
So, but then let's go back to your definition. Because your definition was that it had to be the exercise of power. I'm going to make your definition better for you because the exercise of power against a minority group.
Yes.
But in that case, it wouldn't be because it would be a group of black individuals versus a white individual.
Correct.
So wouldn't a better definition of racism be a human being or institution prejudicing or stereotyping against anybody else because of their race?
I do agree that is a better there's a better definition in terms of how racism is used in society, in terms of setting people behind not having equal amounts of opportunities in these institutions, specifically colleges, jobs, et cetera, hospitals. But that is my point. I feel like in this country, we don't talk about enough, and I think that under this presidency...
Don't talk about what enough?
We don't talk about the history and the impact of long-term racism in this country against minorities.
Can I just press pause?
Yes.
That's all we've talked about the last 5 years. I mean, but hear me out. 1619 Project. We have entire black dedicated channels on Pluto and Hulu and Netflix. We have reoriented the entire national dialogue towards, we had the President of the United States, Joe Biden, take a knee for Black Lives Matter, to have racial reconciliation seminars, to have non-stop race obsession. So I think we've talked about it thoroughly and properly.
So do you think that black people in this country have equal opportunity and are treated equally as white
Absolutely. People? So let me prove it to you, okay? So Gigi and Charlie. What can Charlie do that Gigi can't do?
Okay, I don't know anything. I don't really know much about you. I don't know
Based on the
what
law.
you're capable of.
No, just on the law. What am I allowed to do on the law that you are not allowed to do on the law?
On paper, nothing.
That's equal
on paper. Yes, that is true. Like, I was born under this country. I am a citizen of America. I am an American. I am a black American. I am a follower. I am a child of God. We all are. I 100% stand on that. But I think that basically what I'm trying to get at is I feel like in order for us to have these conversations and to keep having these conversations, we need to have a specific platform that we're able to meet each other on the common consciousness of this society. And I don't think we can have these conversations if we do not understand that black people specifically, because I really can't talk about Asians. I'm not Asian. I can't talk about other people of color. But black people in this country specifically have never had the opportunities to bring themselves back up. When you're talking about the destroyment of the black family, that also came with a big chunk of the Reagan administration, which was forever and whatever ago.
How is it the government's fault of why dads aren't around?
I mean, we could get into the whole, like, the rhetoric of crack babies and crack drug dealers.
So, but isn't it a decision to take drugs?
Oh, no, 100%.
So, and it's a decision to commit crimes.
Yes.
Okay, so the government didn't do that to them. People decided to take drugs.
That's true. But do you feel like these populations or these communities have, in statistics, been overly populated by police officers?
You seem like a really sweet person. So I don't want to try to be too intense. So is that cool?
Go ahead.
What percentage of America is black? 13%, right?
Yes.
What percentage of the murders in America are committed by black people?
I don't know the specific statistics.
Guess.
50%.
It's 60%.
60.
So maybe when you do 60% of the killings and you're 13% of America, more cops should be around your neighborhoods.
But there's no cops there's not an equal number of cops in the white suburban neighborhoods
Because
in the
there's not
same
as much
neighborhood,
murder.
the same neighborhoods that are controlling the like they have cocaine in their houses, but it's not treated the same.
And this is okay, Gigi, because it really is flushing out our different worldviews. You look at cops as if they're there to catch you and get you. We look at cops as they're there to protect and serve and help us.
And that's only because in this country, I mean, police used to be able to drag black people out in the streets and hose them down and sick dogs on them and tear them apart. And we never really had the conversation that where do we get away from that?
We definitely had the conversation.
After
George Floyd, the whole country blew up under the conversation. Okay.
Yes, but it was a big standing on should cops be able to do this? It's almost as if when a black person is murdered by police or at the hands of the police, the gun bullet that came from a police officer's registered
on average,
gun.
how many times a year would you say a black person killed by police?
I mean, at one point it was happening
Unarmed.
at least. Okay, if it was happening at least last year, it was going on about. It was at least a month that it was a major case.
Honestly, I thought it was sweet. I thought it to be very sweet and just, a nice person. But something that I think I got from this is that she has let herself be brainwashed in bias, right? She knows right from wrong. She knows truths to untruths, right? She understands. She does understand, but there's just this strong sense of bias that she has put herself in, which, led her to be a bit conflicting to her reality, okay? Because her understanding of racism, her understanding of DEI, her understanding of just everything, right, is in check. But where she was asked questions concerning racism, and she had what did she call it? She said stereotyping and just a whole lot of that. I mean, that is the sum total of everything. That is the general understanding, the general action of everything. And for her to stutter and to think and to say yes in the context, I just feel like she's just working on some bias. Like she's just, that was just basically everything I could get from this, because I don't want to sound like a pick-me person or a pick-me girl, but it's just seeming like we're trying so hard to fight against racism, but only of people of color. So it's seeming like if you're not a person of color, you are so privileged that you shouldn't even feel or identify racism when it's being thrown at you, right? So there could just be a whole lot of like instances to understand this, but basically that's just what it is. Like you're trying so much to suit and to accommodate a certain race because you're like, oh, this race has suffered so much, they've suffered so much racism and segregation and just hardship, right? And you're trying not to really in its entirety work on racism, but you're just trying to work on pleasing and appeasing certain race, right? And I feel that's even what is even giving, certain race the leverage to come ask for reparation and stuff like that. But I feel like we should all come back to reality, put ourselves in check, really check out the things we're doing and see if it's, in its essence, losing its essence, losing its purpose in the very first instance, right? And put ourselves in check, which I'm so hopeful. And I think that, this young lady she grasped and she's, going to work in it basically. But this is just from a point of bias. So I have no hate in my heart or no disagreement whatsoever to her. She's a sweet lady, and thumbs down. Yes, boo to those people who were trying to get her off the stage back then. But yeah, people, we could get into this. I want to know what you guys think about this. Respectfully, please, I want to know what you guys think about this video, her thoughts and everything down in the comment box. Okay, so please do share your thoughts and opinion with me. I'm really going to appreciate it. But we have come to the very end of today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you know you did follow through this conversation. And hit that subscribe button if you know you'd love to see more videos like this, because I put out videos like this every single day. Okay? So yeah, people, let's keep on staying safe and healthy. So bye.